POCO are going back to their roots with their new F7 range, offering two flagship level devices at very good prices. So today we'll be putting the POCO F7 Pro and the F7 Ultra head to head to see which is best for you. In their typical black and yellow boxes, you'll find the devices themselves, black silicone cases, charging cables, and their respective charging blocks. I don't have the official pricing at the time of making this video, but I've been told that the F7 Pro will cost roughly $500 and the F7 Ultra jumps up to around $650. So there's obviously been a bit of a price bump this year, but it was kind of expected, and I was actually expecting an even higher price bump considering these guys are filled with so many upgrades, it is crazy. Oh, and by the way, this is POCO's first ever Ultra device. The POCO F7 Pro comes in black, silver, or blue, while the POCO F7 Ultra comes in black or yellow. I have the silver F7 Pro and black F7 Ultra, and aside from the colors, they look identical. They both feature a huge design change when compared to the F6 series, and look a lot more like flagships. I really like how their matte back glass flows into a glossy section at the top with the same unique design. And while they look very similar, their cases don't fit each other, as the Ultra has a slightly larger camera bump, and on the edge of that bump is a bronze trim which the Pro doesn't have. The Ultra also has curved edges on its back panel, whereas the Pro is completely flat. They both have flat metal side rails, and while the Ultra's frame seems thinner, the Pro is actually the thinner device here, and it's lighter too. They both get an upgrade in waterproofing too, with an IP68 dust and water resistant certification, and their screens are now also more protected, with the Pro offering Gorilla Glass 7i and the Ultra packing in POCO Shield Glass, which should be quite a bit tougher. So their design has improved and their build quality has too, and the Ultra is only better here in terms of screen protection. Their displays have also seen an upgrade, but they're identical to last year's F6 Pro. They both have the exact same 12-bit 6.67-inch AMOLED displays, and yes, they are both completely flat. They offer proper QHD+ resolutions with an impressive 526 pixels per inch. Their brightness levels go all the way up to 3200 nits, and they also include 3840Hz PWM dimming, 120Hz screen refresh rates, though they lack LTPO technology, 480Hz touch sampling rates, and two 560Hz instant touch sampling rates. So display is not really a concern when deciding which to get, since they're both exactly the same. Unfortunately, neither of them have eSIM support, but they both have Wi-Fi 7, 5G, and NFC. Only the Ultra has Bluetooth 6.0, while the Pro sticks with Bluetooth 5.4. But both of them ship with the latest HyperOS 2 software, which is skinned over Android 15. Their always-on displays can actually be set to always-on, and they both benefit from new ultrasonic fingerprint sensors. HyperOS 2 might look identical to OS 1, but visuals have improved, animations are a bit different, and it benefits from a few extra AI services. There's Google Discover to the left of the home screen, Circle to Search is included here too, and they both come bundled with Google Gemini and Gemini Live.
Hi, I'm Gemini. We're about to go live, where you can explore complex topics or ideas just by talking. Hi, I'm Gemini. We're about to go live, where you can explore complex topics or ideas just by talking.
So again, software is not really a big deciding factor here either, but when it comes to battery specs, they are a bit different. The F7 Pro actually has the larger battery here at 6000 mAh, while the Ultra's sits at 5300 mAh, but the Ultra has faster wire charging at 120 watts as opposed to the Pro's 90 watts. The Ultra is also the only one here that supports wireless charging, and it does it extremely fast at 50 watts. So if you want the bigger battery, go for the Pro, but if you want faster charging and wireless charging, then the Ultra is the obvious choice. They both have the exact same 3D dual channel ice loop cooling systems with liquid cool technology 4.0, but the Ultra takes things up a notch when it comes to performance. They have the same LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.1 storage, which is no doubt a flagship statement. But that's where their similarities end, since the Pro is kitted with last year's flagship Qualcomm chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, while the Ultra makes use of Qualcomm's latest flagship CPU, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. The Pro isn't using a dumbed down version of the 8 Gen 3, and the Ultra is not using the 7-core 8 Elite. They're both using the fully fledged flagship chipsets. So it's no surprise to see them both perform exceptionally well when it comes to multiple different benchmark tests. But of course the Ultra came out with the best scores due to it using the better processor, and the Ultra takes things even further by including a dedicated gaming chip, the 12nm Run Vision Boost D7, which includes better gaming stability and higher end visuals. When testing out Genshin Impact on both devices at max graphical settings, the Ultra didn't perform that much better in terms of average FPS, but it was a lot more stable. But when playing a more recent, more demanding game like Withering Waves, with the same graphical settings, the Ultra was a hell of a lot more stable and averaged a much higher FPS. And when playing an even more demanding game with console-like graphics, that being Call of Duty Warzone, the F7 Ultra proves just how much better the new 8 Elite CPU is, and when used alongside the Vision Boost D7 gaming chip, it averaged more than double the FPS when compared to the 8 Gen 3 powered POCO F7 Pro. So if your decision is based on performance, then the F7 Ultra is the obvious choice, but the F7 Pro still has very powerful internals. Another deciding factor is camera performance though, so let's see what's different. The Pro has a 20 megapixel selfie sensor while the Ultra uses a new 32 megapixel sensor. They both use the same impressive 50 megapixel Light Fusion 800 main sensors, which we saw on last year's F6 Pro, but only the Ultra makes use of the new POCO AISP, so it should process shots better. The Ultra also has a 50 megapixel floating telephoto camera for 2.5 times optical zoom shots, whereas the Pro model lacks this completely. And to top things off, the Ultra has a better 32 megapixel ultra-wide camera instead of the Pro's 8 megapixel sensor. So naturally the Ultra can take native 32 megapixel ultra-wide shots as well as bin down photos. They can both take native 50 megapixel main pics, but the Ultra takes the better snap even on a gloomy day. And the same can be said when binning them down. The Ultra's telephoto camera kicks in at a 2.5 times zoom range for an optical shot, and it comes out looking significantly better than the Pro's digital zoom. And this becomes more apparent when zooming in by 5 times. At 10 times zoom, it's night and day between the two devices, and detail is so much higher on the Ultra when zooming in by 20 times thanks to AI Ultra Zoom. 20 times is the max zoom for the Pro. The Ultra keeps things sharp at 30 times zoom, and I was blown away by the amount of detail it retained at its max zoom of 60 times. The Ultra's floating telephoto also packs in a macro mode, but in all honesty, the Pro's digital zoom without macro mode actually looks really good. The Ultra also tends to take a more color accurate portrait photo, and things are next level when taking a telephoto portrait shot, but it tends to overexpose the background when using the selfie camera. That said, it does pack in more detail and offers better tonal range. It seems to take better selfie portraits during the day, but at night I tend to favor the Pro selfie camera, especially when it comes to selfie portraits. The Ultra's ultra-wide camera seems to oversaturate things a bit too much at night, but it tends to offer better processing when taking a photo with its main camera. Again, because of the Ultra's telephoto camera, it takes the better photo at 2.5 times zoom, and this is evident when zooming in further by 5 times. 10 times zoom is no doubt better too, and it's insane how much better things come out when compared to the Pro at 20 times. 30 times isn't perfect, but the Ultra continues to pack in detail, and it's awesome to see that you can still make out what's going on even at its max 60 times zoom at night. The Ultra offers better stability and more dynamic range when recording ultra-wide video during the day. It's the only one here that can record ultra-wide video at 60 FPS, but I'm a bit disappointed that there's no 4K option when using the ultra-wide. Thankfully, both of them can record 4K 60 FPS main video, and while the Ultra comes out looking a bit more realistic, the Pro seems to offer better exposure. They can also both record 8K video with their mains, but the Ultra pulls ahead thanks to better tonal range, and the cherry on top is that it can record 4K 60 FPS video with its telephoto camera, and it looks fantastic. I also prefer the Ultra's portrait video when using its main, and its telephoto camera also does an incredible job when set to bokeh mode, but unfortunately bokeh video is limited to just 1080p on both devices. Selfie bokeh video is way too overexposed on the Pro model, but they both look decent. Again, bokeh video is limited to 1080p resolution here. The POCO F7 Pro and F7 Ultra both cap selfie video out at 1080p resolution, but at least they do it at a silky smooth 60 FPS. I'm slightly bummed that there's no 4K selfie video here, and just mind my eyes, it's actually raining quite a bit here in Cape Town. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on their video and microphone performance. It's a pity that there's no 4K selfie video here, and while the Pro exposes selfie video more at night, the Ultra doesn't have as much noise grain, so it looks a bit better overall. It once again has less noise grain when recording with the ultra-wide camera at night, but both of them suffer from slight focusing stability issues. And while they both offer 4K night video modes for their mains, I actually tend to prefer the Pro's main video at night. So when it comes to cameras, the F7 Ultra is no doubt the one to go for. It has a few better sensors, it is the only one with a telephoto camera, and its results come out better most of the time, though the Pro's camera system is no slouch either, and it takes really good photos and videos too. The POCO F7 Pro and POCO F7 Ultra are both fantastic flagship killer devices. The F7 Pro is cheaper and has a bigger battery, but the F7 Ultra has faster charging, wireless charging, a better chipset, and an overall better camera system. Otherwise, everything else is exactly the same. If you could do without the extra Ultra bits and would like to save some cash, then the F7 Pro is still a fantastic smartphone. But if you have some extra money to spare and are looking for the best flagship that POCO has ever created, then the F7 Ultra is a no-brainer. As always, this is TechNick, and I'll catch you in the next one.